First of all, I want to say that Russian Jews are very religious people. They may not be very observant, but they're very religious, and they love Judaism, and they love Israel, and they love God. I was born in Odessa. Shastoy Fontana was the neighborhood that I lived in, which is Fountain number 6. Boxing is a culture that I grew up in. I pretty much, really gave my life to boxing, Before I met my wife, I told her I was married to boxing. And I really was. My mother's name is Ludmila. She was an accountant, an economist in Russia. Growing up, I was a mama's boy. I remember that my mother and I had a very close relationship. She kind of typical Jewish mother in that sense, very loving and very caring, and overprotective at times. Of course I miss that. My father, his name is Sasha, Alex in America. He has 2 master degrees in Russia. He's from Odessa. Ever since I was a little kid, I always worked very hard, and I always, believed that I would reach, a very high level in boxing. And I believed in, I had a dream and I believed in it, and I worked hard for it. And, thank God that I was able to accomplish some great things. One of my mentors is Jimmy O, who's an older black man. He's 84 years old now, thank God. Jimmy O, grew up during times of segregation. So when he used to box, he was told to go in from the other entrance. And he grew and he got older, and here he is taking care of this white boy, So Jimmy's an incredible person. And he always preached black leadership and black pride in a responsible way. And it rubbed off on me because I was a little kid, looking at Jimmy. I felt that it was very important for me to do the same when I get my 15 minutes of fame. The place where I boxed was one of the best, most talent-saturated places in the country. And, in boxing, even in training, you get hit. I was a 13-year-old kid. So that time for me, personally for me, helped establish a spiritual connection with God, and I always prayed before I trained, and, hoped that I would do well and not get hurt, etc. And I progressed. I always try to see God as it related to me. And when I was 14 years old, my mother was sick. She was sharing a room with a religious lady. And one day I came to visit my mother, and the lady's husband came to visit her, and we had a conversation, many questions about Judaism. I've never seen really, men with beards and yarmulkes. First time was when I came to Brooklyn, New York. So, and it was kind of the first moment that I had such intimate, share such intimate space with someone that was so religious. So, I had my questions, and we spoke for quite a long time. He took my information, he gave it to a local Chabad house, and that rabbi's name is Rabbi Zalman Lieberov, who shortly thereafter got in touch with me. And, I was not used to going to a synagogue, so even though he called my house, I don't know, probably 100 times before the first time that I set foot there. When I was 18 years old, I went to the U.S. Championships, and I was not expected to win, but that was in the year 2000, and that's when I decided that I would not fight on Shabbos anymore. And I was told that I would be disqualified, and I just kind of closed my eyes and decided that's what I would do. And thank God I won. And a few months later, I won the Golden Gloves on Thursday, not on Friday, and then I turned pro. Russian Jews are really, really incredible people, I'm older now a little bit, so I understand more how difficult it is to pick up everything that you have and move to another country, a new culture, new language, no money. It's incredibly difficult, and really, parents did it for their kids because they saw that it was the right thing to do. So, all heroes in my book, Listen, did I fit? I don't think that anyone fits anywhere in the beginning. I went to school, kids made fun of me, I wore cheap clothes, I didn't speak English, didn't know what was going on, so I didn't fit. It takes time to fit, and it took time for me. It wasn't a pleasant time. I remember My parents, like everybody else, like most people, were on welfare. I remember with my mother going to the fruit store, my mother, my father, and paying with food stamps, and it's a very, very humbling feeling. And we used to get like those packs that fruits and vegetables mixed together, and some are good and some are not so good. And, it's a feeling that you never want to have, When my mother passed away, I remember that my rabbi used to invite me over for Friday night dinner. And, the family atmosphere of Friday night dinner and the serenity of Shabbos, really impressed me and inspired me and made me want to create the same kind of place at home. Hopefully in 10 years I can say that, thank God, Mashiach is here. I hope to be a world champion in boxing. Most importantly, 10 years I hope to be done with boxing and have a few kids and enjoy my family life. Most important.